Well, it's a good crowd, and today's a great day because my Mondays don't normally start this well. First, thank you all for coming. It's a great turnout, and I really appreciate it. And I think this is a new era for Mean Green Athletics, and we're going to do the best we can to fill in everything you need to know today and introduce someone who I think is really amazing. It's been a great year. We started off about this time last year celebrating our 125th anniversary, and we had so much to celebrate. We set enrollment records, which of course means revenues are up and good. We also became elevated to Tier 1 status last year, which was a really big deal. And along with that, along the way, we hired a great new football coach who we're all incredibly excited at in the form of Seth Luttrell, and we are still welcoming him here after a hectic recruiting season, getting down to business. And don't forget, September 3rd, SMU, you must be here. Now, as Rick stepped down in May, we thought real hard about where we were heading, and what we did this year was we made a commitment that UNT would not only be top tier as a research university, but that we would become top tier as a university that celebrated its community and engaged in Tier 1 athletics. While we may have a ways to go, we are off to a wonderful start. We have terrific coaches. We have a really good, promising future. And to cap that all off, we decided we had to have an athletic director who could really make sure that we were moving to the next level, as Rick Villarreal, who got us up one rung up the ladder after his 14 years here, did. So first, a thank you to Rick Villarreal and a round of applause for him. So what do you look for? What do you look for when you're hiring an athletic director? Well, the good news is, with the help of Bodine and Associates and our chairman of the board, Brent Ryan, we certainly had a commitment to make sure that we were going to search the nation to find the best and brightest, someone who could lead us to that promised land and really elevate this institution and our athletic programs to help with national branding and everything that goes with that. I've said before, athletics is the front porch. We want to have a great front porch. You come on up on the front porch when you see something fun going on, and maybe you'll stick around, look inside, and decide that's the place for you. And that's what I think we've got here. We had terrific applicants. The pool was amazing. And so the hard part here was, how do we find someone in a great pool who's the right person for this position? By the way, that's Reagan. And you'll be hearing a lot from her. Hi, Addison. Hi, Heather. So we got down to it. We went through a lot of vitas. We interviewed people. And at the end of the day, we found someone who brought it all together for us, someone who has built athletic programs from scratch, someone who has been the chief cook and bottle washer. I'm sure someone who has great experience from the operations level all the way through external development, and someone who we believe can really lead us to the mountaintops. Now, I was talking with one of our donors and alumni and friends in the Mean Green Club, Chuck, earlier in the day, and he said, well, I took a look at his CV, and boy, I got to tell you, it's pretty impressive. He goes, he's been where there ain't money, and he's been where there is. I like that part, too. So, without further ado, I want to introduce the man who will be taking over as the next athletic director of the University of North Texas, promoting Mean Green and all that means across the country, because I believe he is the person who will get us to this job. Wren Baker is our new athletic director, but he's not just our athletic director, he's our vice president and director of athletics, putting him on a peer with our cabinet, making him a full partner in this enterprise, and establishing once and for all that we are serious about getting to the top in athletics, and you will be seeing big things to come from the University of North Texas and our new athletic director, Wren Baker.
Wow, what a great response, and I'll tell you what, it feels awfully good to be where I consider it home. So our family's transitioned some. It's all right, Heather. She can come. She's coming up here anyway, so. She won't stay long. She won't stay long. Well, first of all, President Smatras, thank you for the kind words, and more importantly, for the opportunity to join the UNT family. I'm honored and humbled to have the opportunity to serve as the Vice President and Director of Athletics. I've spent 15 years in college athletics, preparing for this, and I'm eager to get started. Before I elaborate on that and what getting started means, I want to take some time to thank a few people. First of all, thank you to everyone who helped set this up today. I know this required some work on Sunday, and so we appreciate that. I want to say thank you to my family. If they'll just stand briefly when I call their name. My brother Ray is here. Yes, I got all the food in the family. And then my stepdad Lee and my mom Pam. Thank you for being here. And then I want to acknowledge my wife, Heather. She's, sorry, my biggest supporter, my best friend. And we're very excited to be here. And so to be a part of this family and this community, and I've moved her all over, so I'm so glad to be able to bring her close to home. So, Heather. That's only going to happen once, so all right, and then these two, we have Addison, who's 5, and Reagan, also known around our house as Little Chucky. And so, for those of you who may judge me for that, you need to spend a little time with her. Don and Dylan, no, they flew us up here, and so I'm sure somebody's going to be paying some damages on the plane. I hope I can afford it. I want to thank Chairman Brent Ryan and Trip Keeney. Trip, I know, is here, but they're both part of the interview process. And you know, during the interview, you get a sense for the vision and passion, and I was blown away by their vision and passion for what North Texas athletics can be, and I certainly appreciate their confidence that they've shown throughout the process. And I'd also like to thank the board and System Chancellor Lee Jackson, and I look forward to working with them and making sure that we're building the quality athletics program. Don and Dylan, thank you for picking up our family. That certainly made things much easier for us, as you can imagine. Getting little Chucky through screening is not always easy, and you have a lot of things on your mind, so I appreciate that. And then, yeah, thank you. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. And then I had a chance to visit on the phone briefly with Ernie Keeney, and I believe Mr. Keeney's here. Yes, sir. And so I certainly look forward to appreciate everything you've done for North Texas. Look forward to working with you and our many great people. I'd be remiss if I didn't just take a brief moment to thank my former boss, Baylor Director of Athletics, Mac Rhodes, and my boss before him, Memphis Athletic Director Tom Bowen. Both are men of passion and integrity who gave me opportunities, and I want to take a brief moment to thank them, and also to thank the wonderful people back in Columbia, Missouri. Great people, and that's a great institution. I'll finish up with thank yous. I know that those get long, just 2 more. I want to take just a moment to thank Rick. I know that he put a lot of time and energy into this program over the years, and I appreciate the improvements that he made during his tenure, and I'm thankful for his work. And then a brief moment to thank Hank for serving as the interim AD. I've sat in that chair, and it's not easy, and so I appreciate your willingness to step in. You know, I've been fortunate to witness and experience some tremendous victories and memorable moments throughout my career. We've had record-breaking seasons, Final Fours, bowl games, A lot of people chipped in to make that happen. But unequivocally for me and my family today is the new point. I can't tell you how humbled I am to be entrusted with leading the Mean Green Athletics program. As I mentioned, it's a homecoming of sorts for our family. Heather grew up 100 miles from here. I grew up 150. We met in Durant, Oklahoma. All of our family is within 3 hours of where we stand. We love Texas. We love the Metroplex. But we especially have fallen in love with Denton because it has its own identity, its own sense of community. You have all of the things of the Metroplex, but yet you're right here in a community. We're excited to be a part of a diverse institution, one that offers a tremendous education. As two first-generation college graduates, we understand the value of an education and the incredible impact it has on young men and women. I take that responsibility very seriously. My experiences in athletics throughout my life and career have helped shape me as a person and as a leader, and I'll draw from those to work with my colleagues to establish a bold and dynamic vision. I'll draw from those experiences and to articulate that vision to all of our stakeholders. We will focus on investing in our student athletes, their experience as well as their personal growth and development. I think that's critical. We'll focus on engaging Reagan agrees. We will focus on engaging and perfecting our process, building from the foundation up with an emphasis on getting the little things right. I believe details are important, and we'll emphasize that. And yes, by golly, we will win. Had to keep it family friendly, by golly. It's a formula that I've seen work at different levels and in different regions of the country, and I know it will work here. And we will win with honesty and integrity. We will graduate student athletes. We will prepare them to be champions for life. It is often said, as the president mentioned, the athletics department is the front porch of the university. And when it's done right, it advances the mission integrity of the institution. And that's exactly what we're going to do. One of the things you'll find about me is that I'm not someone who thinks he has all the answers. I'm going to make it a habit to seek advice and counsel from people who have more experience or knowledge with a particular issue. Spent some time with Tripp and Michael. They've done some work, spent some time with the staff, and I'm going to be doing a lot of reading and studying for the next few days when I get back. Over the coming days, weeks, and months, I hope to learn a great deal about this world-class institution and the men and women who have dedicated themselves to North Texas and love it so passionately. There's no question that we have some big challenges ahead of us. Our competitors, they're not sitting idly by waiting for us to catch up. But as an athletics department, as a university, as a community, I am confident that we're going to accomplish great things. Together, we're going to build an elite program that excels academically and athletically. I'm looking forward to that challenge. I can't wait to get started. Go Mean Green. All right, questions. I mean, it's opening press conference. These have all got to be softballs, Brett. I see you got your notepad out.
As you looked at this job, what was it that attracted you to taking over at the University of North Texas?
Well, I believe there's 3 or 4 things that you have to win. One is you have to have a talent-rich area to recruit from. We certainly have that. Everybody in the country wants to recruit this area, and we're gonna get more than our fair share. Because we're gonna provide an experience that's equal to, or better to anywhere in the country. Then I think you want to be somewhere where people want to live. It's a desirable location to attract quality coaches and staff and be able to retain them. And I certainly think this is one of those places. Then you want to make sure that you've got the resources that will allow you to compete. And as I had discussions with the president and chairman, I am confident that a lot of those resources are in place, and there's a plan and a commitment to make sure that we have the resources that are needed. And then I think it's just a desire to win. And there was a moment in the interview when we were talking about Memphis football. And Memphis football was a historically downtrodden program. And I told him, I was like, there's a lot of things that went into that program turnaround, but the biggest thing was people were tired of getting beat. And the body language with Tripp and Neil and Brent, it just, they kind of sat up in their chair. And that's when I knew if they offered me the job, I was going to take it, because that's the first step, is that there's a strong desire to win. And so I think all the things that are needed to be successful are here. I think we've got great coaches. I think we made a tremendous hire in our football coach. He's done his homework on me, but I've done my homework on him. And so people that we did not know each other before this process began, but we've spent some time together. We've got a lot of common friends, and I think that's we're in good shape there.
From the outside looking in, what were your perceptions of North Texas before this process started? And if any of them were negative, what do you need to do to change those?
Yeah. I never had a negative impression of North Texas. I always thought that, that's a place where I'd be really interested if there was ever a vacancy there. I think I just look at the potential, and a lot of the things you need are in place here. I think moving forward, you got to have tremendous processes. The process is important. I've never met a successful head coach that doesn't talk about the process and how you go about building that program. So, I think we've got to take a look and make sure we've got the right processes and that we've got the right people. You win with people. I mean, at the end of the day, you can have everything else as good as you want to be. If you don't have the right people, you can't be successful. And so we've got to take a step back and just make sure that we're staffed appropriately. We got the right people on the bus and they're in the right seats.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You talked about the little things. What are some of those little things, getting them right? Are there any specific examples?
Yeah, for instance, if your second string left tackle is a big drop off from your first string guy is injured, you got to have world-class sports medicine. He's got to be able to get good treatment, good injury. You got to go focus on those details, and your rehab, the people that do your rehab, they've got to be really, really good at what they do, because the difference in that guy missing one game versus 2 games, or not missing a game, can cost you. That's 1, 2, 3 wins that could cost you. So it's a detail that doesn't immediately come to mind, but it has an impact on the game, because if you drop way off there, and so that just applies throughout the department, and so I'll call a lot of attention to things like, did we miss a spelling somewhere? Did we have our parking lots, where people understand where they're going to? Those kind of details are important, because it's a reflection of your commitment to excellence, and people notice those things, and those things are important when you're trying to build a winning program.
You mentioned the staffing. Is there any plans on making any changes in the administration staff as of right now?
We're going to build a world-class staff, but I haven't even had a chance to sit with our staff very long. I don't know how many of them are committed to be here. Certainly, we got to talk about their roles and those kind of things. This process, the way it works, is it happens so fast once it happens, and you got to wrap up appropriately at Missouri. So I'll spend a lot of time the next few days kind of figuring out, first and foremost in my mind, what the structure of our staff looks like, how it needs to operate, and then do we have people all in the right places that match up. So I think it would be probably inappropriate for me to really answer that right now, because we just haven't got there.
A lot of times, the athletic directors, they have an opportunity to pick their primary coaches here. You mentioned that you step into a situation where your coach is already hired. Is that, with the football coach, is that the situation you're comfortable with coming in?
He's from Muskogee. I'm from Valiant. We got a lot in common. And no, listen, I think this is a people business. You have to be able to relate to people of all backgrounds. And, I've walked into situations, at Missouri, as the number 2 guy, but I interfaced a lot with Coach Pinkel, who had been there a long time and highly successful, very entrenched. He had a certain way he wanted things done, and we had some candid dialogue at times, but he was, at the end of the day, he had respect for me, I had respect for him. I've stepped into those situations, but I think for Coach Luttrell and I, so much of what we're going to be going through together, and we're going to be partners in it. And I have no issue with that. What I want is to have good coaches, and I think we have a great one there, and it doesn't matter to me what the sequence was in terms of when he got here and when I got here.
Have you had a chance to evaluate some of your other programs here at North Texas as you take over? Or is that something you'll be doing here going forward?
Yeah, it's something I'll do, spend a lot of time doing in the coming days and weeks. I don't know that you can evaluate a program without spending some time one-on-one with the head coach, without going to practice, without taking a road trip, without understanding how they formulate game strategies and game plans and what their recruiting philosophies are, and how they go about putting together a strong recruiting class. So that'll take a little bit of time. At this point, I've certainly researched their backgrounds. I've looked at their overall records. I've spent time doing that. I've had a chance to visit with almost all of them briefly, but that will certainly be on the short list of things to do. And then part of that will be not just me evaluating them, but them evaluating the state of their program and our program and what I can do to help them, because I really view my job is to eliminate roadblocks for our coaches, to give them every opportunity to be successful. You still going, Brett, or you? If you want me to, I'll hang around. We can talk one-on-one too. So, any more? Well, thank you very much. I know that Heather, they're gonna ask you to come forward, and I want to shake as many hands as if people have time to shake hands, and I'm excited to be your Director of Athletics, and let's get going.
We're not quite done here. Heather, you want to come on up? I really like your taste in dresses.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I want to thank our new athletic director, who was clearly far and away my top choice. I don't think we could have gotten a better one, but Heather, Wren, I wish you all the best of luck. This is family, and we welcome you into our family.
Thank you.